Good morning, respected sir. My name is Srijeeta Saha, roll number 82, and today I'm going to present a seminar on course 4, and my topic is home language versus school language. Language encompasses some of the biggest concepts of the universe, like human expression. It is a complex social as well as cognitive system that denotes culture, and on the other hand, language also serves as the means of communication and education. The usage of this language varies from place to place. For instance, the language that we use at home is called home language, whereas the language that we use in school is called school language. Home language is not dependent on any form of intelligence or ability because the language is acquired fully and completely and very easily. On the other hand, school language acts as the basic building blocks and material for learning. It can be divided into two categories: specific content learning and general academic learning. Specific content learning serves as the basic building blocks for learning, whereas general academic learning serves as the mortar of learning. Now, let us look at both these concepts in detail. As soon as a child is born, he starts to live with his family and his relatives in a shared space. So, the language that he acquires by hearing or imitation while living with his family or his relatives in a shared space is called home language. The characteristics of home language are very simple. Just as I mentioned, home language is acquired right at the time of birth, and it is the language that is used by the child to interact with his family. Number two, home language varies from place to place and region to region. And number three, since home language is very basic and very easily acquired, it does not require some extra capacity on the learner's behalf, which will help him to increase his linguistic capability. The importance of home language are manifold. Number one, home language is very necessary, especially while acquiring the first lessons of education. So much so, in 1951, UNESCO conferred a special status on home language or mother tongue. Number two, home language helps a child develop his social identity. Number three, home language helps a child to learn other languages. Number four, home language helps a child to increase his creativity. And number five, home language helps the child to preserve his identity, his culture, and his heritage. Now let us move to school language. Just as the name suggests, the language that is used by a student while interacting in his school environment is called school language. The characteristics of school language are again pretty simple. School language helps a student to learn the ideal language. And since this is the language that is used in school, proficiency in this language helps a student set some brilliant academic records. The importance of school language are also manifold. Since it is a more practical language, it is usually more valued, especially in the educational sphere. It makes a student future ready and helps him in the national as well as international level. Lastly, the importance of school language in developing or building a student's character is totally undeniable. There are striking differences between school language and home language. For a lot of students, their home language is their mother tongue, which can be Bengali, Hindi, Nepali, Tamil, and Telugu, and their school language is English. Even for people or students whose school language and home language are the same, there are still differences in the usage of words, phrases, and expressions. So, for decades, a debate has raged as to which language should be used as the medium of expression. Supporters of bilingual instructions suggest that initial education must be given in home language, which can later on be transferred to school language. However, supporters of school language suggest that instructions, or specifically early instructions, must be given in school language so as to make the language learning process more easy and effective. However, recent research suggests the usage of home language in school. Home language is an important determiner in academic success. Fluency in home language in no way deters or impedes academic success. On the contrary, it contributes to it. So, with the help of home language, parents can foster cognitive as well as linguistic development in their child with the aid of activities that are usually easiest, cheapest, and most fun to do it. Once their children become academically literate in their home language, they can easily transfer these skills to their school language. In conclusion, I can say that just as home language is immensely important, especially in the societal or familial fields, similarly, learning of school language becomes extremely important when educational and vocational fields are concerned. Since language is the basic means of communication, special care must be taken to nurture both these languages equally and properly. That is all I have for my seminar. Thank you so much.